God created the human body with incredible ability, functioning as a perfect and strong machine. But to keep working, it needs fuel, which is food. We feel hungry because our body asks for this fuel. Food gives us energy and keeps everything in balance, allowing life to continue normally. So why would anyone choose to go without eating? Today, we are used to eating 3 times a day. From a young age, we learn that a good breakfast is essential to start the day. In schools, we are taught to eat 3 full meals a day and to exercise to be healthy. So why would anyone skip a meal? In modern society, the practice of not eating is often called dieting, usually to lose weight or improve health. There is a spiritual practice mentioned in the Bible that many people adopt: fasting. Fasting is the abstention from food for a specified period of time with a spiritual objective. In the Old Testament, Jews were instructed to fast once a year. In Leviticus 16, verse 29, it is written, "And this shall be a statute forever for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls and do no work, whether native or foreign, who sojourns among you." On that day, everyone fasted to identify with the high priest, who sacrificed a lamb for the forgiveness of the people's sins. Jesus also spoke about fasting in Matthew 6, verses 16 through 18, instructing his disciples, "When you fast, do not look sad like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces so that others will see that they are fasting. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your heads and wash your faces, so that it may not be evident to others that you are fasting, but only to the Father who is in secret. And the Father who sees in secret will reward them." With these words, Jesus highlighted the importance of sincerity and humility in spiritual practices. Fasting is a valid spiritual discipline, but it should not be done to gain recognition from others. Instead, fasting involves temporarily giving up bodily desires, usually food, to focus on spiritual needs, such as praying and seeking God's help. When we fast, our goal should be to seek approval and reward from God, not others. Many people have concerns about fasting, especially if they have never fasted before. The idea of going without food for some time can be scary, as we are used to eating 3 times a day. Many wonder if they will feel very hungry and if the hunger pains will be unbearable. Others worry about whether they will be able to complete the fast and fear starting something they cannot finish. Additionally, there are social concerns such as what friends will think about fasting. However, as Jesus advised, fasting is a private commitment between a person and God. It is not necessary to impress others with religious devotion. Fasting can take many forms and can be done individually or as part of a community, such as a church. This is not a diet or elimination of foods for health reasons, but rather a spiritual discipline accompanied by prayer. Fasting helps people improve their spirituality and become true prayer warriors for God. Just as soldiers need discipline, Christians should also practice spiritual exercises, such as fasting, to strengthen their faith. Starting a fast requires a clear understanding and commitment, as it can be spiritually and physically challenging, similar to climbing a mountain. However, the rewards of fasting are significant, and starting with small steps can honor a person's faith and lead to spiritual growth. God values the response of the heart during fasting, giving more importance to sincerity and attitude than to the duration or intensity of the fast. When you start fasting, don't worry about how long you fast. Just make sure your relationship with God is in order. God knows everything. He understands and values the sincerity of your prayers more than the length of them. So if you've never fasted before, start by skipping just one meal. In the Old Testament, Jews were instructed to fast for 1 day on Yom Kippur each year. A day, according to the Jewish calendar, began at sunset and ended at sunset the next day. God taught the Jews to number their days, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Genesis 1, verse 5. Plan to start your fast at sunset or shortly before. This means you will skip your usual evening meal as well as breakfast and lunch the next day. After sunset, Most Jews broke their fast by eating a normal meal. While private prayer and fasting are key, if you've never fasted before, consider starting this journey with someone else. If you are fasting for a specific answer to prayer, invite someone to pray and fast with you. There is strength in unity. Jesus said in Matthew 18, verses 18 and 19, "Truly I say to you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Again, truly I say to you, if you on earth agree to anything you ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven." These verses are not just about prayer, but also about the commitment we make when we are in agreement with another person. Think of it this way. When you plan a vacation with someone else, it's more memorable if you plan, dream, and share experiences together. Sharing your vacation with someone else usually makes it more enjoyable. The same goes for fasting. When you share the experience of fasting and praying together, your prayers are likely to be more focused. Fasting with another person also has additional benefits. You will have someone to discuss your doubts, questions, and fears with, ask for advice, and check in on how you are doing. This contact can give you the motivation you need to continue. Don't forget the celebration. When you climb a mountain alone, you do it to prove something to yourself, and the victory is exclusively yours. But when you climb with others, you have plenty of people to celebrate reaching the top with. You rejoice, hug each other, and then tell everyone about your victory. When you finish the fast, you can rejoice together. Being together makes victory even sweeter. Another advantage of fasting with a friend is that it establishes accountability. You will be less tempted to snack or break your fast if you know that a friend is aware of your fast. Maybe you've already run or walked for health with a friend. If so, you understand how having a partner can help you stay committed when things get tough. If you are strong, you may not need someone to help with the responsibility. But if not, teaming up with someone in the same boat can be very helpful. Fasting with purpose is important. As you prepare to fast, look within yourself to discover why you are fasting. There are many reasons to fast, which we will discuss. You may already have a reason in mind. Remember the story of young David facing Goliath. No Israeli soldier wanted to fight the giant. Everyone had an excuse to avoid battle. But David did not let himself be discouraged. He had a strong reason to fight that specific giant. Likewise, we fast with a purpose. It's not just about praying and fasting for the sake of fasting. Ask yourself if you are willing to fast and give up your pleasures. Make a list of your reasons, write them down on paper so you can see them clearly. When you keep a cause in your mind, it can become vague or indistinct. You may have a general idea of why you should fast now, but take the time to write down your reasons. This will sharpen your focus when you see them written. Plan everything. Do not start your fast casually or with a careless attitude. Plan for success. If you don't do this, you will probably fail. Don't go into a fast just to see how far you can go, thinking, "I'll try until I feel hungry." Some people give up at the first sign of discomfort. Make a firm commitment to fast for one day, regardless of the circumstances. Fasting is wanting to be more spiritual, to take the next step, and commit to seeking God for your cause. There are different types of fasting that can be practiced. Absolute fasting. In this type of fasting, you eliminate all food and water. Paul underwent this type of fasting for 3 days after seeing the Lord Jesus on the road to Damascus and being struck with blindness. In Acts 9, verse 9 it says, "Paul was without sight for 3 days and neither ate nor drank." For your first fast, don't fast completely. This type of fast is intended for those who are deeply distressed or fasting to resolve a severe problem, such as freedom from an addiction or protection from a spiritual attack. Normal fast. During this fast, you avoid all solid foods and drink only liquids. In the Bible, normal fasting generally refers to people who do not eat solid food, although the issue of drinking liquids is often not mentioned. There in Luke 4, verse 2 it says, "In those days Jesus ate nothing, and at the end he was hungry for them." There is no mention of Jesus drinking liquids. When people fast, what do they drink? Many cut out pleasurable drinks like sodas and various types of fruit juices. Partial fasting. In this fasting, you eliminate certain liquids or solids, but not all. This is also known as the Daniel fast, because Daniel ate from the king's table but insisted, "Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us only vegetables to eat and water to drink." Daniel 1, verse 12. Fasting did not harm Daniel or his friends. On another occasion, Daniel reflected the spirit of partial fasting. "I ate no desirable food. Neither meat nor wine entered my mouth, nor did I use lotions until the 3 weeks were completed." Daniel 10, verse 3. This partial fast specifies what Daniel avoided: pleasurable foods, such as desserts, meat, and wine. Rotation fasting. This fast is rarely used in Christian circles as it is primarily for medical purposes, such as determining a person's reaction or allergy to specific food groups. Groups often use rotational fasting to cleanse the system. The patient usually undergoes a normal or absolute fast for 1 day. Then, for 6 days, only one new food group is introduced and consumed each day, alternating between food groups. This helps identify which food is causing the person's physical problem through elimination and exclusion. When preparing to fast, several factors need to be considered. Evaluate your specific situation before deciding on the best approach for you. First, time factor. If this is your first fast, I recommend starting with a 1-day Yom Kippur fast. Remember, if this is your first fast, you are embarking on an unknown journey. Proceed with caution, as you are learning new skills and attitudes for both body and soul. Your first fast should be a normal fast where you eat nothing and only consume liquids for a day. This practice will help train your body not to react negatively if you later eliminate both food and liquids. Matching factor. You should try to align the reason for your fast with the type of fast. Choose a normal fast for a routine request and a more strict fast for a more serious problem. Comfort factor. You should feel at peace with the length and type of fasting when deciding what to eliminate while praying. You shouldn't doubt yourself or feel guilty about doing something. Time factor. Several factors influence your decision to fast or the duration of the fast. Consider your weekly schedule. What days are not suitable for fasting? What special event is approaching that makes fasting inadvisable, such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, or weddings? Never start with a long fast, as you won't know what to expect from your body or how it will react emotionally. A 1-day fast is very manageable. Faith factor. Whatever fast you choose as your first, keep in mind that it is a leap of faith. God sees your heart and will reward you accordingly. Prayer factor. May God grant us the wisdom to understand the spiritual purpose and benefits of fasting, reminding us that it is not abstaining from food alone that brings us closer to Him, but the sincerity of our hearts and the search for a deeper connection through prayer. Let us fast not for visibility in the eyes of others, but for visibility to the heart of God, who sees in secret and rewards openly. We thank the Lord for the strength and discipline that fasting provides, teaching us to depend more on Him and less on ourselves. If this content was valuable to you, I ask for your support by subscribing so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Together, we can enlighten more minds and expand our understanding. Thank you for being here, and may God bless you.